Well, Keith, I mean, first of all, you must be really happy with the way things are going at the moment. A winning team, and even when you make several changes, you get a winning team as well. I guess that's the ethos of the club at the moment.
It's the ethos of every manager up and down the country to try and produce a winning environment, a winning team. And unfortunately, in football, that's the only judgment I have cast on me. Not whether I'm a good person or not. If I'm a winning manager with a group of winning players and a team that's winning, then I'm okay. Start losing matches, I'm rubbish again. But I'm pleased. I'm not complacent. We've got to keep pushing on, and I want the group to seize the opportunities that we've got, which are games, and it's arguably 3 months' work. So we've really got to push on. We've got to make sure that we're focused on every game that we've got, and that's including the semi-final of the Papa John's Trophy, which is, it's a statement of intent of our efforts and ambitions to try and win it.
From your experience, is it easier to lose momentum than it is to gain momentum? And what do you have to do to keep that momentum going?
You can lose momentum in the space of a second in a game. You want continuity. You want a foundation of good values on the training pitch, and you want repeat performances against, obviously, a league of different oppositions. But it's the basics. You ask for the basics to be better week in, week out, and then build on that. And your basics, your effort levels, your desire, your determination to keep going. And it's a condensed season with respect to the amount of games that we've got because of the postponements, because of the COVID situation. And it's unlike any other season, but we have to be relentless in our pursuit of, creating more and more opportunities. And we can only do that by winning.
We mentioned earlier about the changes you made for the Peterborough game. That must give a manager a dream problem, does it, for Port Vale?
It's not a problem. We're quite negative in the way we approach things. I was asked about players who aren't in the squad the other night, having come off the back of a win, instead of being asked about players who are playing on a regular basis. And now we've got a problem that we're selecting players for the Papa John's. It's not a problem. We find solutions. We're giving opportunities to players to represent Tranmere and the supporters. And I expect, with the way that we're training, the way that we're playing, the desire that we've got, to create a winning performance, but you might not always get the results. The performance is key to me to getting the results. But I've got a good group of players, and they're working exceptionally hard. And I've got the opportunity now, with the squad of players that we've got, we've recruited, retained, to at least see us through 21 league games in the semi-final.
I was interested after the Peterborough game. You talked about the fact that you do have players knocking on your door, asking why they're not in the team. How do you manage that in the sense that you want to be encouraging, but equally sometimes the answer has to be no?
Well, it depends on who's knocking on the door. It depends on who's telling them they should be in the team. And before you knock on any manager's door, you should be looking in the mirror and seeing where the real problems are. And that's if there is a problem, because you probably know deep down that you yourself as that player, you've got your own solution of what needs to be done. I'm willing to work with every football player that we've got at this football club to improve their opportunities to play. But ultimately, we as a manager and players, we're all judged on match day, regardless of what we do during the week. Well, I see firsthand, what type of form the player's in, not just on match days, but on a weekly basis. And if you start losing games, I think you go back to training ground principles, training ground work ethic, and training ground performances to select a team. And I think it's the same when you're trying to keep that momentum. You're looking for the players who've got the shirt to try and maintain certain standards so that you know that you can trust those players and you're reassured that they've got the ambition, the desire to go again. And we're getting that at the moment. But the players who aren't playing, they've got to create and they have been creating a positive, rivalry, within the squad. And I think that's what creates a winning environment. It stimulates success.
Port Vale then to come on Saturday. Like many teams in this division, are you not really sure what to expect? They're coming off a fantastic win, are they? But that comes after 2 straight defeats.
We do our due diligence with the opponents, like we have done for every opponent, but we are very mindful of what we need to do in and out of possession, regardless of the opposition. But we know the strengths and weaknesses, they'll know ours, and it's important that we respect any team, including Port Vale, in this league, as we try and circumnavigate in the next 21 games and make sure coming out with enough positive results to at least achieve our ambition this season.
And on the transfer window, you were very active on the final day. How happy are you with the business? And just a little bit, please, on David Nugent and how you clinched his signing.
Well, we're really pleased with the business that we've achieved in retaining players. In the whole of the January month, I thought we've done really good business on recruiting players. But David Nugent, tried and tested, experienced, still got the desire of a 21-year-old to impress, wants to play football, and he's got a real desire to help us at Tranmere. But he's star quality, but as are so many players in our team, if you look at it, and I wouldn't want to embarrass anybody by, pointing the obvious out. We've got James Vaughan, equally star quality. And I think the list is endless, but it's about marrying everybody up to create the perfect team with respect to the opposition that we're playing. And it might change and be tweaked on a game basis, depending on the opposition. So we've got to make ourselves stronger against Port Vale and then stronger against Stevenage on Tuesday.
Just finally from me, any injury news this weekend?
I don't think so. We haven't got any at the minute. We've had another round of testing, and I think we're all clear.
Great. Thanks for your time, Keith.
No worries. Thank you.
Okay, for the benefit of supporters who might not know, or reporters who might not know too much about him, can you tell us a bit more about Ali Crawford and what type of player he is?
He's creative. He's got energy. He's got a lot of qualities in and out of possession. The way that he presses as a midfield player, it's down the line of the ball. He stops forward passes, and then he's willing to make the ground up to support a striker, run through a striker's, I suppose, a defensive line to get on the end of things. I think he's a free kick specialist, dead ball specialist, and we've already got one of those in the building in Fiends. So it's just making sure that we've got the right balance going into the remainder of the league fixture. And I believe we've got it, and he's different than Naya, but equally so, I think he can complement Naya. He's got great energy, enthusiasm, and he's an intelligent football player. First and foremost, as a manager, you want to work with good football players, talented football players, intelligent football players who understand the game. And then you want the hard work. You want players who've got the character, the personality to represent your values. And he's got them all. And we're working with a squad who've got that personality at this moment in time.
It's always difficult if you're coming into a side with big characters or a big group of players that have been together for most of the season. How have the two players settled in this week? Have they been able to train? Yeah,
Ali's trained. We've got to take it slightly differently and slow with Nuge. He's been off the training pitch for quite a amount of time, so we're in the hands of the fitness coaches, Odgie. We're just dead eager to get him onto the football pitch to play, football train, if you like. But we can't tempt fate and run him into an injury or train him into an injury. So we have to make sure that we're doing the right process so we can get him available for the amount of games that we've got left to play. So it's slowly with Nuge. But with the rest of the boys, they're getting up to speed. And that includes Nia Kirby. I thought he was excellent the other night, but he has to get robust. He has to play in those games. He has to play and understand League Two football. He has to train League Two, ferocity, speed, if you like. Once he gets used to it, and he makes his body robust to the demands of League Two, then his ability will shine through.
Yeah, you've kind of answered my next question really around David Nugent's, but yeah, because he's obviously not played a lot of football, but the brand of and the style of play you're playing is high intensity, isn't it? And you can risk an injury, can't you?
Well, what's the point? There's no point. I think you've got to be patient, but patience within football, how long does that last? A game, 45 minutes? I'm not too sure, modern day football. But I have to be patient. I have to make sure that what I see during the course of the week in training doesn't deceive me. And I don't contemplate rushing players to play 45 minutes and then be injured for the next 20 games. So, I've got to be cautious. I've got to make sure that they're ready. And you've got to trust your eyes and trust the fitness coach on players' fitness levels, football fitness levels. And he'll certainly get there. And before we know it, he'll be making a big impact.
Just a final one from me. Today is National Time to Talk Day, which is encouraging people to be more open about their mental health. We know what an environment football can be and has been historically. Is there much focus at Tranmere or in the league these days about concentrating on the well-being of players and managers, and how easy is it for players to talk about the problems in this type of environment?
Well, I think it's very difficult, especially for the generation that I come from. And I don't think there's enough protection for managers, well-being and mental health. I really don't. I think we're a commodity. But for the players, and again, I think a chaplain contacted me last night with respect to getting in touch with Tranmere's chaplain, and I think it's a great route for conversation. You know me, ramble on. I can talk. I love talking football. I love engaging with people. I love building relationships, but not everybody's the same. And I can understand mental health, with the lockdown that we've had and the environment that we're in. And I don't do social media, but there's a lot of talk about social media and players being attacked. And I think it can create quite a lonely persona for a player, if he is being attacked on social media, for example. And I would just advocate that people reach out. We have to make sure that we're looking after one another and reach out, never get in despair. And we are a football family. I think that's important as well. There's so many understanding people within a football family, within a football club, whether it is the chaplain, whether it's the manager, whether it's a teammate. And I would encourage that people, if they have got problems, that they talk, that they open up. And, I found and I find opening up very difficult, and I found the first part of lockdown and the last part of my previous manager's job very difficult from a mental health point of view, very, very difficult. And I tended to bottle it up, and you don't realise yourself probably how dangerous it can be. And I'm not sat here moaning or using it. I've dealt with it, and I've dealt with it the way I was brought up to deal with it on my own, with my family. And, I think the football family's so unique that you can help out, but it's actually spotting potentially, a player or a member of staff, who could be suffering. And, like I said, it's not brave, it's just getting the opportunity to talk about it. And then you probably feel 100 times better. But it's a massive problem. And I think the lockdown's brought more of that type of problem. And again, I don't want to blame social media, but I think a lot of it can be as a result of social media. And we're talking about hate, but I don't think it's all hate. I think it's social media opinion as well, and it needs to be addressed. And not just managers, players, staff. I think everybody needs help surrounding, mental health problems.